On the last day of sixth form, when the final bell echoed through the corridors like a wistful sigh, Lucas knew it wasn't just an chapter ending. It was an entire world gently closing its covers. That familiar sound, usually so urgent, now seemed to carry the weight of everything they had been. The endless conversations by the lockers, the youthful laughter that filled the common room, the small seismic fears that felt, at the time, like the end of the world. He looked at Marina and Rafael and saw in their eyes the same peculiar alchemy of joy and sorrow. It wasn't quite sadness. It was something else. Kind of anticipatory nostalgia, the sort you feel for a moment before it has even truly passed. Marina, with her poetic soul and her habit of finding meaning in everything, was the first to speak. Her voice soft but steady. Let's make a pact, every year, on the first Saturday of autumn, ... We meet here, under the cherry trees, at 4 o'clock. There's no excuses. The patch of council and green where they had grown up without even noticing, where they had revised for their A-levels, dreamed about futures beyond their town, and even shed a few teenage tears all under the rosy blush of a time that felt like it would last forever. Lucas smiled, a tight, poignant feeling in his chest. I promise. Rafael nodded, firm like someone sealing a fate. We'll come back. We always come back. And so it was decided. A sweet, simple pact, but woven through with the thread of eternity.
Year 1.
The silence after leaving. When Marina's train pulled out for her foundation art course in Bristol, and Rafael headed north to his scholarship at Edinburgh, Lucas felt their small commuter town in Kent become vast and hollow. The high street was the same. The chip shop still did the best cheesy chips, but now it felt like 2 entire constellations had vanished from his sky. Life, of course, trundled on because life on this island waits for no one. Lucas stayed local, starting a journalism course at the University of Kent, making new friends in his halls, learning to write with more heart than flash. But still, there were days when a sudden, sharp sense of loss would catch him off guard, in the scent of damp earth on the wreck after rain, in a certain song playing in a student union bar, in the sight of a group of 6 formers, carefree on a bench. And then autumn came, with its crisp air and its promise. On the appointed day, Lucas arrived early. He always would. The cherry trees were stunning, perhaps more beautiful than he remembered. A gentle wind tossed a confetti of pink petals into the air, as if time itself were celebrating. When Marina appeared, laughing and running with the same infectious energy, Lucas felt his heart lurch. It was like finding a missing piece of himself. Moments later, Rafael arrived, looking more weary, with the faint shadows of a first-year medic who'd already seen too many late nights in the library, and a smile that said, clearer than words, I've missed this. They sat on the slightly damp grass beneath their trees. They shared a bag of Sainsbury's grapes, a loaf of crusty bread, and complicated stories from their new, separate lives. And for a perfect, suspended moment, the world stopped turning. There, between easy laughter and comfortable silences, Lucas understood that true friendship is like an ancient root system, invisible for most of the year, but unshakably alive beneath the surface. Year 2, when distance pulls, but doesn't break. The second year was heavier, the gloss of university life having worn thin. Marina was signed off with stress, the pressure of her course, and a looming student loan taking its toll. Rafael was surviving on caffeine and snatched hours of sleep between NHS placements and lectures. Lucas tried to bury his loneliness in the copy he churned out for the student paper, each article a poor substitute for a proper conversation. They messaged less. Life demanded more. Yet on the first Saturday of autumn, they were there. The reunion was quieter, more mature. Marina smiled with a new fragility, like someone relearning how to breathe. Rafael spoke softly, his newfound serenity a thin veneer over profound exhaustion. Lucas watched them, trying to commit it all to memory, not to his mind, but to his very soul. The wind rustled the branches and petals drifted down slowly, as if nature too had been holding its breath for their return. Year 3, the people we become in the third year, each seemed to have settled into a new version of themselves. Marina, more self-possessed, having found her artistic voice. Rafael, more grounded, steadied by the grim realities of hospital wards. Lucas, more perceptive, his writing sharpened by a year of observing human nature. The reunion brought easy laughter, long meandering stories, and a strange new understanding. As if they were now living two different rhythms, marching to different drummers, yet somehow still harmonizing with the same fundamental chords struck in their youth. Lucas realized, watching his friends in the low afternoon sun, that growing up is accepting you won't always walk in step. Life pulls you down different paths, to different towns, different futures, but you still desperately hope to reconvene at the same old bench. And in that golden hour light, the trio looked exactly as they always had. Not because nothing had changed, everything had, but because the essential part, the core of them, had stubbornly remained. Year 4, the art of letting go. The 4th year brought the news that rearranged the furniture of Lucas's world. Marina had won a placement year in Japan, the country of the most legendary cherry blossoms, country of her dreams, the country that would put an ocean and a continent between them. He said he was happy for her, and he was. Act, but it ached too. Act. A quiet, honest ache. He didn't try to hide from himself. At the reunion, Marina seemed woven from light and excitement. Rafael was all responsibility, his shoulders already squaring up to the weight of a doctor's coat. Lucas was pure sensitivity, feeling the impending separation like a change in barometric pressure. They talked for hours, as if trying to steal back time from the relentless march of it. And as dusk began to settle, Marina took Lucas's hand and said, her voice fierce with conviction, "Nothing that is real is ever lost. It just changes postcodes." He believed her, because he had to. Year 5, the return to what matters. The 5th year was the most logistically difficult, the most profoundly beautiful. Marina flew back from Kyoto for a mere 7 days. Rafael swapped a grueling weekend shift at the hospital. Lucas booked proper time off from his junior reporter job at the local paper, refusing to let an excuse get in the way. When they found each other again, under the cherry trees, it felt as if the whole world exhaled. The ground was a perfect carpet of pink petals, as if the ancient trees had saved their most magnificent display just for them. Marina's eyes shone as she spoke of temples and neon skylines. Rafael told stories that sounded like small miracles amidst the A&E chaos. Lucas just watched, drinking in every smile, every meaningful pause, every silence that spoke volumes. And then the sun began its slow, spectacular descent. The sky blushed with hues of gold, rose, and a deep, warm orange. Petals danced on the breeze like blessings. And the three of them, sitting on the same tartan blanket from years ago, eating simple food, laughed with the unburdened joy of people who had traveled far and wide, only to find their way home. Lucas finally understood. Longing isn't absence. It is the living proof of something's importance. It is the most tender form of presence. And as the sun dipped below the horizon and the wind scattered blossoms across the grass, the trio smiled that deep, life-affirming smile as if they were still the same teenagers. Just a little more whole from the mending, a little more human from the breaking. Under the cherry trees in the hushed peace of an English autumn, time finally settled, conceding defeat to a force greater than its own. And they settled with it, resting in the simple, unshakable truth of their friendship. Thanks for getting this far. If you liked it, consider subscribing to the channel.